Hey, what's up, y'all? Jamie here from Strength by Jamie Barroso. I'm going to give you a quick and easy tutorial for a squat. Now, this is going to be a barbell back squat. So the precursor to this is that you are already squatting body weight and goblet squat safely with good mobility. Let me go over what that's going to look like. So when you're in a standard squat, some important things to remember are that your pelvis needs to be neutral. So you can imagine that my pelvis is like a bucket, all right, full of water. Pelvis is a bucket full of water. We don't want the water to spill out of the bucket. So if our pelvis is tilted like this, the water's spilling out the front, okay? This is an anterior pelvic tilt. Bringing it back neutral. If it is tucked under like this, your water's spilling out the back. This is a posterior pelvic tilt. You don't want either one of these happening in a squat. You want that bucket of water maintaining neutral the entire time, okay? You are gonna have your feet shoulder width apart with a slight 30-degree angle of your toe. When you sit down into your squat, you'll notice my knees and my hips break at the same time. You can imagine that somebody's standing in front of me with a rope around my knees and they're pulling, and at the same time, someone's standing behind me with a rope around my hips and they're pulling them at the same time. Notice this? Boom. See, they break at the same time? Boom. All right? So you break at the same time, you sit down into that squat. Notice my pelvis is still neutral, and I'm sitting down, and see that my knee crease and my hip crease are about parallel. My knees are over my toes. They are not behind my toes. They're over my toes. My back is neutral. My gaze is neutral. I'm not looking up, okay? Your neutral gaze to keep that spine neutral. And the other thing I want you to notice is my knees. Do you notice how my knees are popped way out here? If I were to draw a line from my kneecap down, they would align with my pinky toe. A lot of people have their knees kind of caved in, aligning with their big toe. You really want to pop those out. Say hello to Zoe. You really want to pop those knees out, okay? So make sure that you have practiced this. If you need to sit down in a squat and press your elbows here and just feel that deep squat with the knees out, do that a few times before you come here, all right? So let's talk about the bar. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to approach the bar. And I like to make sure I'm right in the middle. I have my little lines of being able to tell this. So the first thing you're gonna do is focus on how you get that bar on your back. Now, a lot of people act like their shoulders are like a shelf, and they go under the bar, they put the bar on their shelf, and they bend their wrists like this, and they lift it, okay? You're not gonna do that. You're gonna do it differently. So you're gonna come under the bar, but instead of lifting it on that shelf, you're gonna back into it. Notice the difference between coming up and coming forward and backing into it. You're gonna back into that bar, let it smush up against the same spot you were gonna place it. So it's not any different spot. You're just smushing it instead. Your hands are gonna push the bar forward, okay? They're not going under and pushing it up, they're pushing it forward. And you're also gonna imagine that there's a piece of yarn or string from elbow to elbow here that are pulling your elbows in together taut. Notice the difference between this and this. You want that nice tight upper back with those elbows almost acting like they want to touch each other in the back. Low battery warning. Okay, so come in front of it, back into it, push the bar forward with your hands so my wrists aren't bent. Nice tight taut elbows, okay? Now you're ready to come up and take it off, okay? Now, from this position, everything's the same. Really important cues, you want to make sure that your rib cage is closed. What do I mean by that? Notice how flat my core is right now. This is a flared rib cage. We don't want that. It's also with a pelvic toe, right? My bucket's spilling. So bring that pelvis forward. Tighten your core like somebody's coming to poke your belly button and you kind of tighten up, right? That would be your natural response. Nice tight core. Bracing is really important. So tightness throughout your whole body, okay? At this point, go ahead and sink down into your squat. All right, come to about parallel and push up, okay? Now, when you're pushing up, something I want you to imagine too is that you're gonna be pushing, pretend this is my foot and these are my toes. You're not gonna be sitting into your heel, okay? So let me put this bar down. You're really gonna imagine that you're pushing through your heel, but also these 2 points on your pad of your foot, okay? And your toes, they might scrunch, and that's okay if they do, but you just want them firmly on the ground. But your pressure points are here, here, and here, and that's what you're imagining pushing through. The important thing is that that bar path stays directly centered over your midfoot, okay? So under it, smush it, tight upper back, lift it, come on out, shoulder width, 30-degree angle, and you can experiment with a stance that feels comfortable to you. There's no perfect stance. Just play around with it. Sink down, okay? And right now the bar is perfectly centered over my midfoot. You can even see it in the video. And at this point, I'm gonna push through all those 3 pressure points straight up, okay? You wanna make sure your hips and your chest rise at the same time and a nice neutral gaze. I'm looking right at my baseboards, okay? Press up. All right, there you have it. And you always wanna go forward into a squat rack. You never wanna back into it, okay? There you go. Hopefully that was helpful. But I'm back because unscripted always means I forget something, but I don't do well scripted. One thing I forgot. It's that barbell. This is a common mistake I see people make, is they've heard they need to squeeze their glutes at the top of a squat. Squeezing your glutes and thrusting are 2 different things. My glutes are squeezed right now. They're nice and tight, but my pelvis is still neutral. I'll see a lot of people come up to the top of the squat and come forward like this. I'll show you what that looks like. Down and up, and then they go like this. You don't want to do that. Okay, what I'm doing right now, I'm tilting my pelvis. I'm putting all this load right on my lower back. That's a big no-no. Your position up here is going to look no different than you standing up. The difference is going to be on what you feel. Tight glutes, relaxed glutes. Tight glutes, relaxed glutes. Can't even tell the difference, okay? You need to make sure you're squeezing your glutes and tightening them without thrusting forward, all right? So now, I'm really done. See you soon.